everybody, this is Jennifer. Welcome to Unlock Life again. Courtesy of a friend of mine, we were talking about trying and the idea of trying. I thought I'd do a very sort of brief segment around it. It's sort of been going through my head, so yeah. Here's the thing. You don't have to try. The old saying of faking it until you make it, it works and it doesn't need to be that. And the reason why I say that is you don't need to fake anything. You don't need to be anything. You just are. So say if you're trying to be more, say if you're trying to be more, and this is the word trying to be more outgoing, for example. You don't need to fake being outgoing. You simply need to acknowledge the fact that right now, at that moment, you are not so comfortable being outgoing. And that will decrease as you move along. It is the same thing as trying in some ways, but it's a very different mentality to take it. Because at any given point, you are what you are. You don't need to justify who you are. You don't need to justify not being comfortable. You just, you're not comfortable. That's okay. But that's the big thing. It's we all try to be something, and the word trying is, it's like trying to, it's not you. And that's what it is. So the way I'm saying is, rather than saying I'm trying to be this, or I'm trying to be that, or I'm trying to do this, or I'm trying to do that, there's no point. You don't need to do that. You just simply say, I am in the process of doing this. And there's always a process in terms of before A to point B. So that's okay. Then just be in the process of it. You know, I'm learning to be more outgoing. That's all it is. And in the process of being outgoing, I'm uncomfortable being outgoing too. But all of it is a statement rather than I'm being something I'm not, rather than trying to justify. And there's no need to justify being uncomfortable because, you're uncomfortable, so what? There's nothing wrong with being uncomfortable. You are what you are. So yeah, this is what I'm saying. You don't need to try something because it simply is. And if you can acknowledge the fact that you are what you are, and you don't need to justify doing what you are, being what you are, then it's interesting because you almost can live a life saying, this is me. Whatever that is, whether it's a strength, whether it's a weakness, whether it's something you're working on, or whatever it's something you're trying to achieve, you can simply say, this is me. I'm either in the process of doing something, I want something, or I am something. But either ways, all of those are the same. But it's different than the general mentality of saying, I want to try to do something. Because it's almost like it's not you. And I think that's the issue. But if you acknowledge the fact that I'm uncomfortable doing something, but that's okay. It goes back into recognizing your emotions. It's simply an emotion saying that, this is not the most comfortable place. But that's okay. That's all it's saying is you're learning something. That's all it is. And if you're okay with that, you don't need to justify it. You don't need to say, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that, and therefore I'm blah blah blah, or even when I say something like, you're trying too hard. You are trying too hard. You don't need to try. You are simply what you are. And if you're uncomfortable, it's like, acknowledge the fact that you're uncomfortable. You can acknowledge that to yourself. You can acknowledge that to somebody else, and that's okay, because that's being actually genuine about who you are and what you are. And as much as people will see that, will think, it's a weakness, you can't show weakness. No, it's not true, because everybody feels it. Everybody has their comfort zones, and everybody, feels uncomfortable sometimes when they're outside of a comfort zone. That's the general idea of a comfort zone. So if you're just being truthful about it, there's a lot of people that will resonate and understand it. And they will think, wow, you're cool. You're so comfortable in yourself that you're willing to admit you're uncomfortable. And it's crazy. It's a crazy idea, but trust me, you will actually get a lot of respect for acknowledging who you are at that moment, rather than trying to be something you're not necessarily. It's a weird concept, but try it. Try it next time. Tell me what you think. Like, I mean, because I've come to a point where I am what I am. Everything that I am, and I don't have to be something because, well, I am, all my flaws and all my, weaknesses and all my strengths at the same time. And knowing that and being recognizing that, I don't have to justify anything anymore. I don't have to say, oh, I'm this, and therefore, you know, this is why I try and do something, or this is why I try and act this way, or something like that. No, I don't have to say, this is why I'm trying to act this way. I am this because, well, I am this. I don't need to try and act a certain way. That's what I'm saying. So, don't try. Don't try. But not because you don't want to break free outside of what you are. It's just acknowledging the fact of, well, you may be uncomfortable. And that's okay. That's okay. Just be uncomfortable. And be in that feeling. That's okay. Just don't let it stop you from doing things. That's all. That's all you need. Acknowledge your feelings and be in it. Because it will pass. You'll get to a point where you're no longer uncomfortable and you can say, oh, I'm not uncomfortable anymore. Right? And I hope you guys get that. I hope you guys get what I'm saying here, because you don't need to try. So just remember, don't try. Alright, thank you.